Hey y'all. So, second video for the day, but I wanted to talk about this a little bit. So, the United States basically declined to join in with these big tech companies and these other countries who are quote unquote trying to stop online terror from these social media platforms. And so I wanted to talk about this a little bit and kind of help put things into a little bit of a different perspective, maybe. But anyway, let's start off with this article from BBC.com. So take note of the title, right? U.S. says it will not join Christchurch call against online terror. Just remember that, but we'll come back and talk about that. The U.S. has declined to join an international initiative aimed at tackling the spread of terror online. The White House said on Wednesday it supported the Christchurch call's aims, but was not in a position to join, citing the need for freedom of speech. The comments came as five of the world's biggest tech companies pledged to tackle extremist material. The Christchurch call was launched in response to a deadly terror attack that was live streamed on Facebook. The March attack, launched by a lone gunman on two mosques in the New Zealand city of Christchurch, left 51 people dead. So what is the Christchurch call? So basically what this is a voluntary commitment. Voluntary commitment by governments and tech companies to improve their efforts to tackle extremist content. Now, I've told y'all, anytime governments and tech companies get together, beware. All right. It was spearheaded by New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern and French President Emmanuel Macron. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, who is just worried about the freaking gun policies that we have all the way in the United States that don't have anything to do with New Zealand. The same French President Emmanuel Macron, who his people are over 20 weeks of protest, like running amok through Paris, and he can't even handle Paris, France. But anyway, who joined political and industry leaders in Paris on Wednesday to launch the action. The text of the initiative outlines collective voluntary commitments from governments and internet companies. These include ensuring that there are effective counterterrorism laws and that measures are being taken to remove extremist content from social media. All action on this issue must be consistent with principles of free, open, and secure internet without compromising human rights and fundamental freedoms, including freedom of expression. It must also recognize the internet's ability to act as a force for good, including by promoting innovation and economic development and fostering inclusive societies. So look at the people that are joining. Australia, Germany, India, Sweden have backed the actions alongside tech giants Facebook, Amazon, Google, Twitter, and Microsoft. Why didn't the U.S. join? In its statement, the White House said it supported the Christchurch call's overall goals, but was not currently in a position to join an endorsement. Without directly highlighting specific issues with the initiative, the statement stressed the need to protect free speech. We continue to be proactive in our efforts to counter terrorist content online while also continuing to respect freedom of expression and freedom of the press. We encourage technology companies to enforce their terms of service and community standards that forbid the use of their platforms for terrorist purposes. We maintain that the best tool to defeat terrorist speech is productive speech, and thus we emphasize the importance of promoting credible alternative narratives as a primary means by which we can defeat terrorist messaging. That sounded perfect to me. Sounded like an amazing statement. Mr. Macron said he wanted to get a more concrete and formal commitment from Washington, but saw the U.S. support of overall goals as a positive element. Like, why do you need a concrete and formal commitment from us? Why do you need that? Why is that statement not enough? So this just goes on to talk about they basically have a 9-point plan on how they want to do this. And how this will basically limit live streams or whatever. So U.S. says it will not join Christchurch call against online terror. Not U.S. supports the fight against online terror, but prioritizes or cares about free speech. Nothing like that. U.S. condemns online terror while still extending free speech. No. Okay. That's not what they say. Look at this other article. This is by stuff.co New Zealand. Facebook says new rule will have stopped Christchurch shooter live streaming. Facebook says a new rule change would have stopped the Christchurch shooter from live streaming the massacre on its platform. And this just goes on to talk about this. I'm going to link these articles below. But once again, Facebook and all these other countries acting like, you know, they want to protect us. They're so ready to protect us. Literally, after that shooting, you had some people calling for a ban from live streaming, like completely just ban it. You had people in New Zealand going to jail for sharing the videos of the terroristic act. Literally going to jail up to 14 years for sharing a video. Let's try here to put a couple things in perspective. First of all, being that it is impossible, okay, in any free country, notice I say free, that's very important to this statement. It is completely impossible in any free country to completely eliminate the risk of people seeing things or to completely eliminate any risk. But here again, we have Facebook, these other media tech companies, and these other countries pretending to want to keep us safe under the guise of more restrictions, under the guise of acting, pretending as if they care. Let me help you put this into perspective a little bit. Literally, every single time I log into Facebook, social media, Google, you can easily see, easily accessible, okay, people being victims of gun violence, people being victims of fights, people being victims of harassment, people being killed, murdered. You literally, every other day on Facebook, you have access to unarmed Black people being killed by law enforcement. Easily accessible, shareable. Facebook does not care about deleting such videos. Facebook does not care about the emotional and mental turmoil of the people viewing such videos, the emotional turmoil that this could allow them to have certain reactions or a certain disdain for law enforcement. Social media does not care about your mental or emotional well-being when it comes to this. They do not care about the violence, destruction, murder being taken out on citizens every day. But somehow now all of a sudden Facebook cares about you seeing murder and death. So what do? Instead of making buttons easily accessible where someone can say, hey, this seems to be a terror video, let me send this to Facebook, they decide to create new restrictions under the guise of now y'all care that people are dying and people are seeing this. I mean, I'm saying just make it make sense. And to the people who say, oh, those videos of Black people, they're just being shared for awareness. They're just being shared so people can know what the police are out here doing. The same thing, that same argument could be made for terroristic videos. It's literally no difference. A person could say, oh my God, this really sucks. People need to know what the heck is going on in the world. Let me share this video. And then the next thing you know, you in New Zealand prison for 14 years. So just make it make sense. I mean, I'm really trying to put this into perspective. When have these companies ever cared about people seeing death and violence? And is it really even their job to do so? And if so, to what extent? Now, I commend these platforms for trying to discourage terroristic threats on their platform. I mean, rightfully so. Who wouldn't? But my thing is, let's just put things into perspective and be honest here. It has absolutely nothing to do with them caring about you or caring about public safety. 100% nothing. When these tech giants join forces with these countries, they always have underlying agendas. And that's just what it is. And thankfully, the United States was able to see through this and decided not to sign on. I've showed y'all before how, the whole thing with the United Nations and how Trump had to basically speak out and say, no, the United States, chooses to keep our sovereignty, and we don't need officials that we did not elect in the UN speaking on our behalf and making laws and rules for us. We don't need that. We don't agree to it. And so, hopefully, people can see this for what it is. So this whole, the US doesn't want to stop online terror, it's a farce. It's a smoke screen, smoke and mirrors. Most times, more times than not, it always is. Leave your thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.